Hey Bougie Clique. Skinny privilege refers to the societal advantages and preferential treatment that individuals who are perceived as thin or within the societal norms of beauty and body size experience. Like all forms of privilege, the person who has it may not realize they have any advantage, because it's simply normal for them. Nevertheless, people with skinny privilege often get body shamed for being too thin by people who do not have this privilege. In many Western cultures today, media and fashion industries often promote thinner body types as the ideal standard of beauty. This preference can be traced back to various social and psychological factors. For instance, the rise of fashion models and celebrities with slim physiques has significantly influenced public perception. These images are frequently disseminated through magazines, television, and social media, creating a widespread ideal that equates thinness with attractiveness. This phenomenon is reinforced by the fashion industry's practical considerations, as designers often create clothing samples in smaller sizes, which are then showcased by thin models. Psychologically, the preference for thinner body types can also be linked to certain evolutionary theories. Some evolutionary psychologists suggest that slenderness may signal youth and fertility, traits historically associated with reproductive success. This perspective posits that evolutionary pressures have shaped human preferences to favor certain physical characteristics that indicate health and vitality. There are several reasons why many men find thinner women more attractive. Evolutionary factors. From an evolutionary perspective, a thinner, healthy-sized shape is often associated with youth, fertility, and a lower risk of disease. These traits are considered desirable for reproductive success. Cultural and media influence. Media and cultural standards often promote thinness as the ideal body type. This constant exposure can shape perceptions of attractiveness. Health and fitness. A slender body is often associated with better health and fitness, which can be appealing to men. Waist-to-hip ratio. Research has shown that men are attracted to women with a lower waist-to-hip ratio, which is typically achieved through weight loss. The importance of face versus body in attractiveness can vary depending on the context and the type of relationship. Research suggests that face. Generally, a woman's face is a better predictor of overall attractiveness than her body. This is especially true when women are fully clothed, as facial features provide cues to age, health, fertility, and personality. Body. Men tend to place more importance on a woman's body when considering short-term relationships, such as one-night stands. In these cases, body attractiveness becomes a significant factor. In summary, while both face and body contribute to attractiveness, the face tends to be more important for overall attractiveness, especially in long-term relationships. However, the body may play a more significant role in short-term relationships. Yes, there are differences between men and women in terms of what they find attractive in a partner. Research has shown that men tend to place a higher value on physical attractiveness and youth in a partner. This preference is thought to be linked to evolutionary factors, as physical attractiveness and youth are indicators of fertility and health. Women, on the other hand, often prioritize social status, financial stability, and ambition in a partner. These traits are seen as indicators of a partner's ability to provide resources and support for potential offspring. Wealthy men, like others, have varied preferences when it comes to attractiveness in women. However, some general trends can be observed. Face versus body. Wealthy men often prioritize facial attractiveness over body attractiveness. A beautiful face is seen as a sign of good genetics and health. Thinner versus curvy. In wealthy societies, men tend to prefer women who are relatively slender. This preference is linked to societal standards of beauty and the association of slenderness with youth and health. Data collected from scientists show there is a link between a female's thinness and how attractive she is perceived. The male and female participants rated images, and as body mass increased, attractiveness decreased. Images showing females with a BMI of just 19 topped the results, which is at the lower scale of the healthy BMI range, which is 18.5 to 24.9. The results reflect the perceived association of a smaller body mass with heightened fitness and less risk of chronic ailments such as heart disease, diabetes, or infertility. Study participants also predicted the females in the images with lower BMIs were younger. This factor suggests participants found thinness in females so attractive because it's equated with youth and fitness. Facial adiposity. The perception of weight in the face is an accurate indicator of a person's body mass index, BMI, which is calculated as a person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of the person's height in meters. Increased facial adiposity is associated with a compromised immune system, poor cardiovascular function, frequent respiratory infections, and mortality. So, even a small decrease can improve one's health. Researchers have determined women and men of average height need to gain or lose about 3.5 and 4 kilograms, or about 8 and 9 pounds, respectively, for anyone to see it in their face, but they need to lose about twice as much for anyone to find them more attractive. Thin will always be in, for a few simple reasons. Supply and demand. The first is simple supply and demand. This is pretty easy to grasp. Things that are rare tend to be more highly valued than things that are common. In our culture, and in many others around the world, the vast majority of people are overweight or obese. Because the average person is overweight, thinner people are by definition rarer, and therefore more in demand. And the fatter our country gets, the more valued thin people will be, based on body shape alone. This isn't a value judgment of worth, it's basic economics. There's also an evolutionary perspective. At one point in our evolution, people who were heavier than average were prized as mates, clearly having access to food and resources. That is no longer true, and today obesity is instead a strong predictor of health problems. The person of normal weight is, on average, healthier than his or her overweight counterpart. All animals, including humans, choose partners partly, if subconsciously, on reproductive fitness. Will this person be healthy enough to carry on my genes? What do you think? Do you have skinny privilege? Let me know in the comment section. Stay bougie.